Today I have a watch that is something that you don't see very often. First, it was designed in Puerto Rico. There aren't very many micro brands that are based out of Puerto Rico, so that is pretty cool. This is a dive watch that takes some inspiration from a very cool vintage reference that you don't often see. I have one hands-on, so let's flip the camera and take a look at a brand that's based in Puerto Rico, Sanctur. Sanctur is a district in San Juan. And obviously this is a dive watch, and that kind of makes sense that this comes from San Juan, or it was designed in San Juan, because the person who owns this company definitely likes dive watches. And you can see that in this overall design, which is inspired by a number of different very popular dive watches. But it all comes together in a very fresh look, I have to say. So it doesn't look like any one watch that exists. It sort of comes together as an original design. That dial is the Barracuda from the 50 Fathoms, obviously, because you have those block indices that are painted on the dial. There is red, they are a creamy color, and you have a matte dial. There is no date, so the original didn't have a date. The reissue did, and I like that they didn't put a date on this watch. This is a true dateless watch with a Sellita SW200. You get a couple of Omega vibes from the case. I like that as well. Overall, this is a very chunky watch, and it feels really good in hand, but it's not incredibly thick. It's only thick because you have a double pass-through strap on here. If this didn't have a double pass-through strap, it's actually pretty thin for a 300-meter dive watch. When you turn it on its side, it's under 12 millimeters thick. It doesn't have a display case back, so it's actually pretty thin. This is actually intended for diving. A double pass-through strap makes sense. You could definitely swap that out very easily because it is really easy to change the straps on watches like these. You have this large screwed-in crown, and it is a large, grippy screwed-in crown. It measures in at 8 millimeters. It is extremely easy to use, and I think it's a really good-looking element of the watch. It is just so easy to grip and operate. That's important for a dive watch, in my opinion. And then you have a very nice bezel on here that is extremely grippy as well. It's assembled in the United States. I do want to mention that as well. You get that Sellita SW200, which is Swiss, but this watch is assembled in the United States. Let's listen to the bezel action because it sounds really good. And you can see that I have such ease in use of this bezel because, again, it's designed to be very grippy. Just like that crown, it's large and pronounced. It's made with the purpose of being able to turn that bezel immediately. It makes a lot of sense. It feels good. It sounds good. Everything lines up. The dial is a matte finish, like I was saying. It just says the name of the brand right at the top, Sanctur collection, right below that, and then the name of the watch right above the 6 o'clock position, and that is it. You have white hands on here. Those are filled with lume. All of those indices are filled with lume, and the bezel is entirely lumed. The lume on here is fantastic. We'll do a lume shot in just a few minutes. Measurements on here, so I was saying before, this is below 12 millimeters thick. It's a 39 millimeter watch. You have about a 45.5, between a 45 and a 46 millimeter lug to lug. And then you have that very large 8 millimeter crown. And you have a flat sapphire crystal that has a slight bevel to it, but does not add thickness to the watch. You have a screwed-in case back with a diver that's holding a machete on the case back, and it is 300 meters of water resistance, as I mentioned before. Heat treated stainless steel, so 316L stainless steel, heat treated for obviously scratch resistance, which of course is always welcome. And that sapphire crystal has AR coating on both sides. Speaking of classically inspired dive watches, today I have the Yema Superman Diver with that coffin bracelet on my 7.5-inch wrist. This is a really good looking watch, obviously a lot more expensive than the watch that we're looking at today, probably around double the price, but it is a very cool watch. And this also is their in-house movement, so you get their in-house movement inside. Very, very cool watch. And there is the Sanctur on my 7.5-inch wrist. Like I was saying, this is a 39mm watch, a thin 12mm thick, but it wears thicker than that because of the strap, that double pass-through, of course. And then you have a 45 or 45.5mm lug-to-lug. And the crown, again, is 8mm thick. Very, very grippy. But it's a 39mm watch, so it doesn't bother my wrist at all. You can see that bending it as far back as I can right there, and it really doesn't even touch my wrist or hand at all. So really comfortable, good looking watch, and obviously very, very functional as well. Let's talk about price and take a look at the Lume on here, because the Lume is excellent. But there you go. The Lume on here is probably better than what Blancpain offered when they came out with this watch, or the reissue of this watch a few years ago. It is very, very bright, very liberally applied to everything, including that seconds hand, which, by the way, is fully loomed. So the entirety of that second hand is loomed. Both hands are loomed, the hour and minutes, those are very liberally applied. And of course, that bezel is very liberally applied with Lume. Price on this is $949. You're getting hardened stainless steel, a Sellita SW200, sapphire crystal. I believe this is a ceramic bezel that is fully loomed. There's a lot going into this watch. It is assembled in the United States, which obviously costs more money. So all of that considered, I think $949 is definitely in the ballpark for what this watch should cost. And it's really good looking and functional. Obviously, there are a lot of dive watches that come out and they're, for one reason or another, not actually functioning dive watches. This one is a watch that you can truly go diving with, and on top of that, it's good looking. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I think this is a really good looking watch that's functional, and it gets a lot of lume, so I don't really have that many complaints, except for the strap. Like I said before, I would put maybe a rubber strap on here so that it's not as thick. You can actually enjoy how thin this watch is and get that 300 meters of water resistance, the benefit of having that and thinness at the same time. Obviously not as safe as a double pass-through strap, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it wearing it on a rubber strap. I think it will look amazing as well. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. I will add a link to this watch down in the description below. Definitely check them out if you are interested. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for logging on today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.